Greetings, everybody, from the Hannover Messe 26. We're here with Sam Waes of the Orange business, the head of Smart Industries Europe, B2B Enterprise Division. So maybe we'll start there because most people may associate with Orange Consumer, but tell us a little bit.
Indeed. I think maybe we need to position that. Orange Business and Smart Industries, what I'm focusing on with the team, is really the manufacturing focus, manufacturing vertical of what we do in Orange. Orange, you know, probably as the telco provider. That is, 130,000 people, I think, globally, 65 countries. Well, we are there in the business unit of the B2B business unit, and focusing really on business customers. In that segment, my responsibility is everything which is industry, mainly manufacturing, but also logistics. But it's pharmaceutical, oil and gas, fast-moving consuming goods, food and beverage. I mean, you name it, the industry focus. And that's what we're doing from my perspective. And that's the reason why we're here at Hannover, obviously.
Perfect. So we'll double click on one of your application that you're showing here in the Nokia booth. So it's the 5G AI powered worker safety and critical manufacturing communication. What is the one thing the manufacturer needs to see in your stand, and maybe why? And maybe pick the vertical that you're...
Yeah. There's a couple of things that you can see. We are this year at Hannover Messe together with Nokia. It's one of our partners, one of our key partners in private 5G. So on their booth, or on our booth together, you see actually a very nice display of the going from devices up to the micro edge, the edge, then the core, then the 5G, and the whole explanation on how 5G is adding value to industries, including in the different applications. We are there as an integrator partner of them. So we integrate Nokia and other different players to make sure that we provide this kind of industrial-grade connectivity which is needed for all those high-demanding mobile devices. And when I say mobile devices, I don't mean phones. I'm talking about humanoids. I'm talking about AGVs. I'm talking about the tablets. So the video cameras definitely is one of those cases.
So if a plant manager walks in 5 minutes, what's the one thing you want them to walk away? Just the one thing is like fastest way to convince them that they need that Orange tool.
What they need to see is that as Orange Business, we're one of the few integrators that can actually integrate from the device till the AI, the whole use case, on a global scale. So you see typical customers of ours are really the multinational companies that have global manufacturing. 50 locations, 100 locations, 150 locations. And there we provide the connectivity, the security, the data, and the mobile connectivity that is needed.
Thank you for that. Now, a lot of manufacturers want the private 5G, yet some of them are afraid that data may leave their building. Your hybrid private 5G keeps that inside of the factory world. What does a plant gain from that, and what's the risk that goes away?
Yeah. And maybe we should elaborate just a few seconds on when we talk about 5G. Everybody knows the 5G on your phone, but in technology-wise, it's the same 5G. You've got the public 5G, which you have on your phone, and you've got the private 5G, which is actually the same technology on an antenna or multiple antennas on your site. And then you've got the hybrid, which is actually the combination between them. Why would you do private 5G? Because you want to make sure that you control the network. You have those time-critical applications, those, for instance, critical calls that you can make, emergency calls you can make, or the things where you need low latency, if you have the video cameras and real-time detection and real-time actions. So really critical applications on large sites, you would take a private 5G to make sure that you manage the network, you manage the frequency. Now, obviously, that's a bit more expensive than the public 5G. If you have hybrid 5G, you actually have the best of both worlds. Because you combine your critical applications go private, your public applications, if you want your employees to watch Netflix, which I don't think so, but on the side, you don't want to go over a private 5G, which you couldn't. You want to go that on the public side. So that's why you would do hybrids. And on your question on the safety, your private 5G has a very high safety level, and that's the reason why you also would like to have the private 5G there. Because you don't want critical data or time-sensitive critical data. You don't want to be transmitted over the public internet.
Got it. Now, in your opening comments, you talked about Nokia as one of your key partners. What does this Orange-Nokia combination deliver on a factory floor for that manufacturing cannot really be buying from private 5G from another provider? What's this unique combination of this
But
partnership?
you will see in the Hannover Messe, there's multiple providers of 5G and private 5G, all with their pros and cons. And you really need to look in specific applications to kind of see the benefits. What we see, we're actually partner agnostic integrator. We're here now with Nokia. We do integration also with other players. And it really depends on either the application or sometimes even customer preference. We have customers that say, we definitely want to have Nokia, and then we will do with Nokia. There's other players, and then we will do with other players. Now, what is the unique thing that we do with Nokia? We have developed together with Nokia a 5G starter pack. Because what we see is the implementation of 5G is a different technology than your Wi-Fi technology. So to get started, we've made it easy that you can just come in with a rack, your 5G, your core, your antenna. You can set it up, you can connect it to your network, and then you've got your 5G starter. And this is something that we've developed with Nokia. And this is actually enabling faster adoption, faster integration of 5G, and also the learning to see what are the benefits, disadvantages, how do you deal with the antennas, which kind of applications you really need to put on a private 5G and all. So that's why we had the starter pack.
Thank you for that. Now, Europe is pushing manufacturing to adopt AI, yet enforce the data sovereignty at the same time. What happens to a factory that moves fast on one and ignores the other?
You cannot ignore sovereignty. You should not do. We've actually taken a couple of actions to make sure that we can come across or come closer to that need of customers, where we have our sovereign edge solutions, sovereign cloud solutions, but also our sovereign AI solutions, I would say. Maybe we don't call it sovereign AI solution, we call it live intelligence is how we call it. But this is making sure that you got those AI models on your own private cloud, your own maybe sovereign public or private cloud. But that makes that you can go fast, you can really push employees and for the adoption of using AI, using all the LLMs, using all the chatbots, but in a confined environment. So you get the intelligence, the speed from all the different models. And one of the beautiful things that I think we're providing is that we also have all the different models. So you can enable your workers, say like, you want Claude, or you want Mistral, or you want Anthropic, or whatever, or ChatGPT, or whatever model that you want. Not whatever, we have a selection, obviously. We allow that, we confine that, and that then every question stays within the walls of the company. So in that sense, there is a risk of going too fast if you allow all your employees to just use a public ChatGPT and put their spreadsheet in to quickly analyze. That you don't want to happen. How do you stop happening that? I believe by providing some alternatives which are now available.
Got it. Great insights. Now, you work with a lot of manufacturers across Europe, not just Europe, but let's focus for a little bit on that. What's the biggest operational results you've seen from deploying, let's say, 5G and AI together on a factory floor?
Yeah. So I would say I see different type of results, whether it's 5G or whether it's AI or whether it's data-driven. And it's very difficult to say where do you see the combination of two, like you put in your question. But the typical real business values that you see are the ones that everybody talks about. This is about reducing downtime. This is about efficiency optimization. This is about energy optimization. This is about reducing costs. So the use cases are still the same.
And if the CEO of Accenture would be sitting right here, she would ask, so what is that doing to the growth?
Well, it gives you competitive advantage. So I think all the digital technologies are there to give you competitive advantage. A nice example we have from a customer is, for instance, in their energy optimization. We started months ago in analyzing the energy consumption, because energy is expensive. So how can you optimize that? So pure from data, you start to optimize how energy can be consumed. Now, what seems is that in order to produce their paper, this is a paper manufacturer, they produce their own energy. Now, it seems that it's sometimes cheaper, or should I say, you can have a different business model that you can also produce for the grid. Mm-hmm. So by the use of AI, by the use of data, you can really optimize your processes and even change your business model in when you produce, when you stop production, when you start production. These are things that were not possible in the beginning. And this is an AI example in energy. You also see examples where factories become more agile by just adapting their network organization. So typically they've got a flat network, but in order to be agile, to be more productive, or to change your production faster, which you need because of competitive forces, they have a different subset, different network, different segmentation, so that they're more agile and more flexible in setting it up. And by the way, 5G is an example there, because if you got your 5G antennas, I mean, you don't need to pull your cables. If you want to rearrange your production location, then you can just use 5G.
Sam, thank you so much for your insights. If you have questions, feel free to leverage or follow us and comment, and we'll get it to Sam and his team. Hopefully, we'll host you at one of our online AI summits in the future and double click a little more into these applications.
Would be pleased to do so. Thank you.